Morning. Good morning. This is Louise. Good morning. This is Louise on Miracles and London Town. With our broadband here. Oh yeah, so as you can see, this is a very professional show. The cameraman's having problems. Oh, that's because I am the cameraman. And I'm always having problems. Let's face it, I look at life as one series of problems to be solved. And particularly, I look at myself as a series of flaws to be rectified or, not quite getting it right. So, thought today I'd talk about a few different things, but I thought one of them was definitely the how to get rid of the how, because I'm trying to hey, I am back. Oh my goodness, it is crazy what is going on here. I'm not sure how much of what I was originally saying that you got, but what I was explaining to you is that, oh, look at that, it's a miracle. I've taken on the name the Headless Buddha because I feel like I am in this dilemma where one minute I think that I am the enlightened one, and the next minute I am running around like a headless chook, crying and screaming and raging at the world for it not giving me what I want. So anyway, as I was saying before the video so rudely cut out, this world and me have a very serious dilemma to work out. I am not satisfied with anything. Partners, the state of the world, the way my mouth is moving on this video, my fabulous haircut from Naomi Jansen. But to be serious, it feels like there's a lot of us in the same condition. We're perpetually unsatisfied with what life offers up to us. And even when it creates something for us that's absolutely fabulous, we only see the bit where we are supposed to work harder, do something differently. I'm very interested to figure out how to come out of that perpetual unhappiness, which just seems to create more perpetual unhappiness, because I'm always looking at the moment and trying to figure out how to change my state of mind, which is crazy. And Mel and I have been creating the Perfect Present course, and it is very much about learning self-acceptance and love and knowing how to be exactly where you are. Now, I am a howler. I am an emotional empath, and I easily express. Although over the years, I've become an adept at inappropriately trying to repress those expressions of fully blown emotions. And in the course of that, have blown my fuse at some people and really turn my own upset in on myself. I was listening to something last night, and it was Joseph Campbell's History of Myth, I think. Joseph Campbell was a scholar and someone who was passionate about Native American Indians culture. He found, went to the Natural History Museum with his father and started to become enamored with the culture and the myths. And he started exploring all the myths on the planet, the stories that make our world make sense, the collective stories that make our world make sense. And his biggest advice in there was follow your bliss. And I guess I'm doing the 30-day poetry challenge. And interestingly enough, one of the prompts for this week was regret. So they're giving us a prompt every day for a different particular poet who has lived before, and we are every day writing one poem. And so ironically, last night was a poem that started off with regret nothing, and we were to write something that was inspired by these words, regret nothing. And so I wrote, regret nothing and follow your bliss. Take your heart out from under your pillow and give it a kiss. No more waiting for the day to come. You are the perfect and only one. Each connection, each season, each moment to know. Love is the seed that you plant and it grows. Take the shame and the blame, all of your crimes. Let them go, give them no more time. Follow your bliss, be immersed in right now. It's what you do all along and already know how. So that was the Regret Nothing poem, and I just really felt to share that with you, because I feel like part of the how for me is spending a lot of time dissecting my own actions and being disappointed with the outcomes, and thereby double guessing, second guessing all the reasons why I do things, all the reasons, why I'm doing things. And I miss that perpetual bliss, that opportunity to be in the moment. Part of the course we were creating the portal for the community last night, and very much a theme of that came to be that sense that, we allow ourselves moments. We know how to do it. We will sit and read a book in the sun for the sake of reading a book. Even stopping and having a cigarette, we'll do that for ourselves without excuses needed or without reasoning. There's things we do for ourselves, and we're not doing them because of some future outcome. We're not doing them with some understanding of why or how it's going to feed into what we're trying to achieve. We just do them. And I've heard more and more people lately saying that that's how they're operating, is this sense of now, but it's not a now where you're trying to get there. It's just a being. And that being with isn't about finding the highest point and staying there. That being with is being with whatever pops up. So that sense of whatever pops up, you know, and that's with no ranking it before, after, in between. No sense of, I wanted that to be different. It's just been such tumultuous time for so many people, and I know for me I have this tendency to look at life as if it is some kind of, not roulette wheel, but reoccurring wheel, that wheel of dharma, of karma. Like, you know, maybe that was occurring at some point in the history of man. Maybe, you know, there was a sense that, you know, the finger pointing out will have three fingers pointing in. But it feels like there's something very definitely changed about that. It feels like, and maybe that's just my story as well. You know, we take great comfort from our stories. I love stories. I'm a storyteller, and I just love playing with the meaning making, playing with the way I want to describe what is happening in the world. And I do think that quite often my storytelling, my meaning making, has been to try and compensate or balance out the fact that I've been incredibly emotional being in a world that I looked around and thought was not emotional, was not willing to express what they were feeling. And all my actions have been trying to make sense of that and trying to locate myself in that in a way that makes sense for me. Now, my original assumption that the world is not an emotional place, that people don't want to emote, may not have been true. I don't think people have a choice. They're all feeling all the time, and they are expressing what is right there and loudest point for them. If the loudest point for them is to clam down and keep their emotions tight, well, there's been plenty of reasons over time for that. I feel like every time I get in front of this camera, I want to give you something. I want to feel like I'm helping in some way, making a difference. It's still right into that sense of wanting to come up smelling of roses, and we don't always come up smelling of roses. And the only place that that assessment comes from is from ourselves. Because when we see the people outside of us and we're reacting to them, or we think we're reacting to them, we're reacting to our own story about them. It's yeah, it's just, it is a wonder to me how much is not set in stone. You know, we're being told this news story now about how, you know, quantum physics and nothing is nothing, it's all energy, there's a lot of dark matter, and there's a lot of stuff we don't know what it is, and we're all made up of it, and it's everywhere around us, and this is another story. It's the new scientific explanation that goes as close to making sense of the mystery as it possibly can. Yet there's still this mystery. I walk around going, I will not cry today. I will not get upset. I will not get disappointed in my life. I will not be depressed. I will not stay in bed past a certain time. I must get up. 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 Oh, I've got money to pay the bill today. Oh, when's my pay going to come in? When those people sent the money in, I'm doing my best. And I guess that's the thing that's been confusing me a lot lately. I do my best. I try very hard to be a good spiritual being. I try very hard to be a good person. So why do I often feel like the outcomes in my life don't measure up against my efforts? That can send me into a complete meltdown. Trying to figure out why certain outcomes aren't there that I think I deserve. And, you know, I've worked hard, done course after course, studied social work. I've helped kids a lot. I've tried to figure out how to not let them have the same problems I felt like I had. And yet still, when I look at my life, I assess things and go, why isn't this working? Why doesn't this look like what I thought it would look like? And even now, it's like I'm being challenged. I'm going, I love to talk to people. I love to tell my stories. I love to share what I'm feeling. I love to play and entertain. But I want it to be real. I want it to be raw and vulnerable and real. And I want you to get a sense of how much it means to me to be myself in this world. It's very much that given permission, you know, and still, again, I'm looking into this camera and I'm wanting you to give me permission, wanting you to affirm for me and acknowledge to me that what I do is valuable and worthwhile. And the only one that can really give me that permission is me. And some days I feel like I can, and other days the stories I've used to make me feel safe and belong trap me in what I feel like is a cage of my own despair. And we've been talking a lot about that sense that well, I guess the thing is we've been talking a lot. We've been creating the content for a course and we've been finding ways to help. And I go, help. Like, that's the modality I'm in. That's the duality I'm in. That's the way I've learnt best to make myself useful is to see my role in the world as helping. It makes me feel safe to think that I have some control, some ability to affect change. When really, at the heart of it, I just keep finding myself pushed up against the wall of surrender, of surrendering to what I don't know, what I can't change, what outcomes haven't come my way. And even saying it like that, it's not that every day I'm up against it. There's these magical, magical moments, and I want more of them. And, you know, I'm sure there's people out there going, do more of this modality or that modality, that would help. But the thing is, I have collective modalities. Like, they're going out of fashion, and it's just this sense that it has to come from me this time. I have to take full responsibility. That's not to say I can't go out and do courses and have experiences and everything like that. There's the most beautiful things happening in the world where people are exploring what it means to be. And part of me goes, you can tell I've been a Catholic because this is almost like the confessional. It's like here, let me offer you up all my sins so they can be forgiven, and then I can go out into the world and do the right thing, hopefully. This is one of those strange things where you just wonder, in a million years, when they unearth creating calm network, oh, the headless Buddha, what will they be thinking? You know, like, what will they think? And that's often my question. What will they think? I'm always wondering what someone else thinks, what someone else is doing, what someone else is in reaction to. I'm always using always and never. Always and never, always and never. You know, just that sense of, why am I feeling like this again? Why am I feeling like this again? Why me? Why me? And I've been reading some blogs and things lately. You know, why am I ever happy? Why me? Why me? I feel like this culture is crying that out, you know, whether we're the richest man on earth or whether we're the poorest kid, there's this sense of, we are such an entitled culture, we are such a culture full of experiences and opportunities. And I remember my friend Ian once saying, you know, we were talking about where we wanted to live, and you know, that sense that once you lived in the village you were born in, and that was that. There was no question of, do I want to live somewhere else? Would I like to go on an adventure? For the majority of the world, it felt like, this is where I was born and this is where I belong. And now we have this rampant choice. We have so many possibilities of how we can persist in the world, how we can exist. That leaves a lot of space for uneasiness. a lot of questions, a lot of comparisons, a lot of judgments, a lot of second guessing our actions. You know, and that's the bit, that second guessing our actions is where we really put ourselves up against it. See, these are the conversations I usually just have in my head with myself. I'm so torn on this show between revealing the conversations in my head and being entertaining and bringing you magical special guests and trying out to see if I can show you a video of the monks playing on the tight wire. I don't know. So many things I want to share with you. You know, I've had amazing writing workshops this week where people were writing about, you know, kind of invoking feelings from the war, from the First World War, and evoking stories about their responses to that. And I've been with kids just playing, and I've been with whole families just playing. And I've been meeting up with friends, and I've been hanging out and driving around, and every day is into a hectic, interesting, different world that I go. Been watching the lizards and the frogs and the dragon fruit ripen. Been having an ongoing battle with a bush turkey in my basil patch. And I feel like I've been battling. Just feel like I've been battling a sense of, I don't want to be talking about my problems again. I don't want to be talking about myself again. I just want to be happy. But more often than not, whatever I think the criteria for happiness is, I'm not in it. And then I'm looking for ways to be out of it and in it again. My brain feels a little bit like my computer. I'm just looking at the menu and I've got like 10 things open, videos, events, stories, letters, poems, emails, all these things to answer to in my life. I mean, that's not a serious problem, but it just feels like a domino to I've got to do. I've got so much I've got to do. And there's really not much that I want to do. I love writing my poems. I love getting up when I feel like it. I love eating when I know what I want. I love being with people who inspire me. I love spending time in nature. I love digging in the garden like a bush turkey. No wonder they're coming to me, because there's me and that turkey. We're pretty much alike. If that's all I really want to say today. You know, I can say follow your bliss and have no regrets. But for some reason, my life is full of regrets and disappointments. And I'm trying to work out how that's been working for me. Because even though sometimes I don't love myself, there's plenty of people around who love me and tell me all the time that I'm a good person and I'm doing my best. But sometimes I can take that on for myself. And other times I just feel desperate that it's not true. And so that sense of being able to trust myself, you know, to look after me, to look after the people around me, to know what's the right thing to do. Feels like it's just pressing very hard, you know, like that it's pressing. And so when you always wanted to do the right thing, how do you take that pressure off yourself? And, you know, I know that's not really the question, because it's been working somewhere for you to have all that pressure on. It's been working. It's the way you've driven yourself, inspired yourself, motivated yourself to keep going. But I had this feeling while I was in America. I met some young people who were spanking. They were like cranking. They were awesome and beautiful and affirming and acknowledging and living life to the full. But I just got this sense that they had no permission to be until they'd saved the world, until they'd changed things, until they'd been the one to make the difference, until they'd transformed themselves, their inferior way of thinking, and the planet. And I just thought, I straight away went into, that's not working for them. They need to change that way of thinking. So somewhere I'm right on their track of thinking. You know, just my ability to be with them. To let them have that way of thinking works at the moment. It's the very thing I need to do with myself. Is be grateful that I wanted to be the one. To be grateful for all the experiences I've had and how they've served me. I'm sitting here talking about me and hoping that it resonates with you. Wondering where this leads, wondering why this format, why my hair is so fabulous today. Wondering what it all means to you. And I guess I don't really care at the moment. I want to be able to have an experience unraveling this for myself. And if in the process you're there with me, that's great. I love to have company. But it is where I'm learning not to need that company to acknowledge me and tell me I'm doing okay. And it doesn't devastate me when that company goes away or doesn't react the way I want them to. And even that, letting go of that idea that I'm learning something and I'm going to get better and one day it'll be all right because I'll have resolved all my deep-seated trauma and yeah. I don't know. I'm torn. I am torn between making this show the stories of life, and it will be times when it is the stories of life. But it feels like there is this other place where it's just a tool for reflection. And an opportunity for me to be with you witnessing it. And well, you know, if you enjoy this kind of sense that there is a cosmology where you are perfect as you are, just doing what you do, and a place where that complete self-acceptance is honoured. Miracles and Wonder, check it out. Stick around with me next week. I'm not sure what will happen. That's one thing I can promise you. And I don't even have any words of wisdom. You'll have to find them yourself. Yeah. It's unusual for me not to give advice. So take that as a good sign. Even after I talk about not having judgments on things, go straight back into trying to tick off the box, whether it's been good or bad or right or wrong, whether I've improved or... I guess this is a chance to explore where the depth of my embeddedness in that dualistic nature and what that actually means, the separation that that creates and the distance that we feel because of our story, that there's a way out, that there's a possibility of right and wrong and good and bad. Like, well, this is Louise Moriarty, the Headless Buddha on Creating Calm Network. And I want to thank you for joining me today. I guess I think of it as kind of a communion. And I want to thank Jazz and Jess particularly for inspiring me. And have a great day. Enjoy whatever life beholds to you.